Welcome back to America, guys. We are on the Kawasaki Ninja 500. This is Kawasaki's new entry-level bike. They started with the 300, moved up to the 4. Now their entry level is a 500. This bike is absolutely awesome. It's loaded with great features. I'm going to talk about all the features of this bike. We're going to take it for a ride on the highway to show off the power. I'm going to hit the twisties to show off the handling. And I will discuss a little bit of a comparison between this and the Ninja 650, having been an owner of a Ninja 650. Let's get started. If you guys have seen any of my test ride videos, you know I've got certain criteria by which I judge these motorcycles. The first of which is comfort. If a motorcycle isn't comfortable, you will not want to ride it. Now, having been a Ninja 650 owner, I'm used to this riding position. Knees are tucked. It's a sport bike. It's not a super aggressive sport bike. It's not a super sport. So the tuck of your knees is fairly relaxed. It's good for commuting. You can do longer rides on here, and your knees are not going to feel cramped unless you are an exceptionally tall individual. The second component of the riding position is the clip-on style handlebars here. I'm leaned forward, but not aggressively so. Your back is not going to be punished for longer rides. But it's obviously not as relaxed as a cruiser. That should go without saying, but if you're new to motorcycling and you're trying to compare, this is going to be a more lean forward stance. Riding position is very comfortable. I'll give it a solid rating for that. However, the second component of comfort is the seat, and that is where all of the Ninjas, no matter which one you get, they all come up short. I ended up taking the stock seat off of mine, putting a custom Corbin seat on it. And that made it much more comfortable for longer rides, and it helped my butt so much having a custom seat. Corbin's not the only option out there, but I would highly recommend you guys look into a custom seat if you're going to be doing any sort of longer rides on a Ninja. So overall, for comfort, we're going to give it about a 7 out of 10. The reason for those docked points is because the seat is just not comfortable. No stock seat on these Ninjas are comfortable. But that's something that can be rectified. Now let's talk about power. We've got the Ninja 500 engine in here, liquid cooled obviously. We're currently in 6th gear on the highway and we're getting an eco indication, so we're riding actually very economically at 74, 75 miles an hour in 6th gear. The Ninja engines are bulletproof. They're virtually maintenance free. I never had to do any maintenance on mine. Basic oil changes. The thing just absolutely ran like a top. Bulletproof engine on these things. So if you need a bike that's low maintenance and good reliability, and if you're not big into doing your own engine maintenance, get a Ninja. Very easy to do an oil change, not a big deal. Super easy to take care of. As far as the power and performance goes, I can't do much of a pull for you guys here because we are in a Kawasaki group ride and I have the chase guy right behind me. So no hard pulls out on the highway, unfortunately. Got to be respectful of their rules and regulations or I will not be allowed to do any more rides with them this week. So got to be careful of that. But as far as power goes, I've had a Ninja 650, I've had a Kawasaki Vulcan S. Both were the 650 Ninja engine, and both were great on power. The 500, obviously going to be a little bit less. I will put the exact specs on the screen for you guys for the horsepower and torque of this motorcycle. So you guys have that information. Now in front of us we have a digital display. We've got digital tach, speedo, odometer, fuel gauge. I believe there's outside air temperature somewhere. I think I saw that. Maybe it's not on this model. Maybe that's only on the 650. Digital gear indicator, and everything else is a dummy light, essentially. Pretty simple digital display, but it's got everything you need. Now that we're in the twisties, we're going to talk about handling. Handling on a Ninja is superb. My Ninja 650 was absolutely spectacular, and with the Ninja 500 you would expect nothing less. It's a spectacular riding motorcycle, can lean over quite far. I will put the exact lean angle specs up on the screen for you guys as well. Again, one of the drawbacks of a group ride is I can't lean this thing over very far in the corners and pull for you guys. Whoa, what do we got up here? Some car just came to an abrupt stop up here and stopped our whole group ride. It's just a car driving very slow with his turn signal on, and he came to a stop in the middle of the road where there's a lot of motorcycle demo rides happening today. I don't know if he's just being a jerk or he doesn't know what's going on or something weird happening. Yeah, he has no clue what's going on or what's happening here. Okay, well, that's how you take out a few motorcyclists. You had a sticker on the back that said senior driver. That's interesting. It's more like a Joe Biden driver. So in the handling, in the corners, you can lean it over quite far. It's very nimble. It's very light. It's lighter than my Ninja 650. I don't know if they've done any sort of, reductions to the frame. I'm sure the engine obviously is a little bit smaller. The frame feels very similar to my 650. I really don't know if there's much difference between them, but it is certainly a lighter motorcycle. Going back to power just briefly here, if you're a new rider, something that will interest you is the Ninjas, the 500, the 600, or the 650 rather. They have slipper clutches installed. What that means is if you have a shift that's not perfectly rev matched and not perfectly timed, the slipper clutch will assist with changing that gear, so it's not going to punish you for a bad shift or cause any sort of problems. So having a slipper clutch is a wonderful thing if you're looking at this as a beginner rider. It's another additional feature that will help keep you safe on the road and help improve your riding and get you riding until you become a more proficient motorcyclist and you're good with your shifting. Another great safety feature this has is ABS. So anti-lock brakes, if you're a beginner rider, something I would highly, highly, highly recommend you get a bike that has ABS installed. It will save your life one day. So ABS plus the slipper clutch, nothing too distracting on the digital display, just what you need. This is a great bike for beginners. It's aimed at beginners from Kawasaki. This is their entry-level bike. If I had to give you guys my overall impression of this compared to the Ninja 650, obviously 650's got a little more power. I think the Ninja 650 may have been a slightly larger frame, or at least the fairings were a little bit larger. This feels a little more compressed and compact. However, I feel no appreciable difference between the two when it came to the power. I mean, obviously the Ninja 650 had more power, you can tell that. But I would consider a Ninja 650 even for a beginner rider because it didn't feel any more aggressive to me than the Ninja 500. So if you're looking for something to start out on, you may get bored with the power curve of the 500 after a little while. The Ninja 650 is very manageable. It's not super aggressive, it's not going to throw you, so if you're a beginner, the Ninja 650 could be a better option if you want something to grow into and keep the bike for longer. If you're looking at something that'll be just a beginner bike and then you may upgrade to something else in the near future or as your riding skills progress, then the Ninja 500 might be the bike for you. But if you want something to grow into and keep for a longer period of time, I would highly recommend the Ninja 650. And the 650 engine has just been around with Kawasaki for a while. The 500 is a newer engine for them. So the 650 already has proven itself to be an excellent engine. I'm sure the 500 is going to be as well, but you have that history with the 650 at least to prove itself. Additionally, since the 650 has been around, there's more accessories available for it. If there is a difference between the two when it comes to the frame, then there's going to be a lot more accessories available for a 650, such as panniers, saddlebags, seat differences if you're going to upgrade the seat. You know, if there is any difference between the frames, you're going to have more options available for the 650 because there's more of them around. It's been around longer. So again, we go short term versus long term. If you're planning on getting a bike to keep for the long term, I'd go 650. If you're planning on a short term with this, to learn how to ride, get proficient with your skills, and then upgrade, then the 500 is an absolutely fantastic entrance into the beginner sport bike market. There she is, guys, the Ninja 500, set up 2 up from the factory with passenger pegs. The fit and finish is not quite as good as it was maybe on my 650. Just little things like back up here in the area around the seat. The Ninja 650 looked a little cleaner and nicer. I also did a fender eliminator kit on mine, which you could do on this as well, but it's kind of ugly just having that plastic fender back there. If you're a new rider, going back to that maintenance I talked about, these are chain driven, not belt, so you have to do a little chain maintenance, which is not difficult, just spraying it down, keeping it clean, and lubricating it. It's a very simple process, lots of videos on YouTube on how to do it. As far as your gas tank's concerned, you've got a locking gas tank, and that's about it. There's not much else to it. Great beginner bike, but overall impression, I would go for the 650 if you're looking at something to grow into and keep long term. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. That helps me crack the YouTube algorithm and get this video out to more people who are interested in these motorcycles. If you're new here and you feel I've earned it, please subscribe to the channel. It's the big red button. Click the bell icon next to it. That'll give you notifications when there are new videos to watch here on Motoblade. Done about 15 videos so far here at Americade this year, so lots of great test ride content coming out. Indian, Harley, Kawasaki, Honda. If your bike hasn't popped up on the channel yet, stay tuned because it probably will. I got a lot of great test rides coming out for you guys. Thanks for sticking around. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I've owned Ninjas, I've owned Vulcan S's, so I can help guide you guys if you have any questions or comments. Please talk to me down below. I love hearing from you guys. We'll wrap this up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Till next time, be careful out there on the road. Ride safe, ride on. I'll catch you on the next video.